Thinking about how to retain your development team, keep your developers happy, productive, engaged for the long term. I think that one of the things that can't be overstated, the importance can't be overstated, is the importance of continuous learning and being in an environment. As a developer, they're going to want to be in an environment where they're learning and growing. One of the patterns I've seen repeatedly is where people are moving to a company where there's a team that they can learn from, and maybe they're coming from a previous team where they were kind of stalled out, not learning as much. Maybe they were in a smaller team where they were the main person, or there weren't peers that they could learn from. And then moving into a team with a lot of peers that they not only that are really talented that they can learn from, but that also there's a great environment where knowledge is being shared, and the Slack channel is just constantly going crazy with interesting stuff. And if you have a problem, you post it, and then your team members are helping you out. I think is super important. And so if you can, to the degree you can try to foster that within your company, I think that's huge. If you do have a small team and you're limited in that way, you might want to try to approach that from some different angles and just try to create opportunities for your developers to continue to learn. Maybe that's getting them access to some training tools. Maybe that's getting them access to some I know there's probably a few different types of communities where people can connect to forums and chat groups and learn from others and things like that outside of their company. It's just so important. I think if you're in a situation where your developers are kind of stagnant, where it's just kind of the status quo day after day, they're not learning and growing, they're not talking about learning and growing, that I don't think that's going to last forever. And if it does, most likely, they're kind of checked out to a certain degree and they're kind of just going with the flow, not really giving the best that they could of themselves. Development, by its nature, is a job where you have to be continuously learning. So if that's not happening, then there's some issue there to look at. So I think that's just as if you're somebody that has a development team, is building a team, trying to think about how to keep your developers happy and retain them, I think that's just something you really want to pay a lot of attention to.